Yeah. When you're lost in the rain in Juarez, and it's Labor Day too. And Bashar Assad has failed you, and the Egyptians won't pull you through. Don't put on any airs when you're down on Rue Morgue Avenue. It takes on a whole new meaning now, Rue Morgue Avenue, doesn't it? That's a great, that's Subterranean Homesick Blues by Bob Dylan, one of his 2 or 3 greatest songs of all time.
Bluesmithing music, well, then Obama's administration's music, the Crazy Train by Black Sabbath. I know that thing does go inside for me.
Lights here, they should. Yeah, they're gonna have to put lights here. Oh, they're resurfacing Lincoln Street as well. Oh, the sun glare.
good job of line
I
song.
like
You
that
really
song
do.
a lot.
Yeah, when I let it go past one verse, then I get bitched at for letting it go on too long. So no, we cut it where we should have.
I'll have to stop right there.
T-Ticket Road. Well, I'm relatively familiar with the town of South, but there is no T-Ticket Road. There is a T-Ticket path, and there is a T-Ticket highway, and I know which one of those standard ice cream is that.
Highway. I'm guessing it's on the highway. Because I've been by it, and the thoroughfare seems to be more like a highway than a path.
I think he said path.
I don't know, whatever he said. I'm gonna guess highway.
Hey, as long as I just doesn't interfere with my EBT card, I don't care what they do.
Spoken like a true.
Hey! What is...
No, your strategy has always been to play the race card, knowing that that's all this really takes. Unfortunately, ISIS, I don't think accepts either MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover, or the race card.
Mission control technology that we're going to slap on that volcano.
Listen, they had Wall Street Journal the other day. It talks about how ISIS is making a lot of their money through extortion. And I thought to myself, gee, where did they learn that from? You know, considering we just named the Bank of America, which bought the countrywide mortgages, and I think Merrill Lynch during the financial meltdown of 2008, that largely at the behest of the government, has just been fined $17 billion. $17 billion. Somebody call that extortion. You know where the money's going to? You know who's getting a cut? La Raza. The people who want more illegal immigrants. The people who believe in reconquista of the South. If your pension or your 401k mutual fund owns some money of Bank of America, that the money's been extorted from you and given to a bunch of racial arsonists.
That was your last jump line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr. You chump.
All right, that's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. If you'd like to leave a message, you can always do so 24/7 at 617-779-3469, 617-779-3469. We may or may not play your message at this time every weekday.
No wonder this country is in such dire straits. It's as if there isn't any more United States. The nation being invaded couldn't have more jaded. After all, it's always been America he hates.
Okay. Well, they're issuing alerts that there may be an attack on the southern border of the United States. The Department of Justice's Board of Immigration Appeals has decided to let 911 when outside of the United States if they claim to be victims of domestic which makes them automatically eligible for all forms of welfare, almost tripled from 2012 to 2013.
Wow, didn't let me. I got here before her. Not quite. Oh, not quite.
Do you remember what Elizabeth Warren was best known for in Washington before she ran for the United States?
Take Ted Kennedy's seat.
Totally extraneous.
Yeah, successfully defeated Scott Brown.
And they larded it up with all manner of hacks.
Right.
Okay, here's this letter before we go to break.
Forgot the commercials.
This is from the in Chelmsford. And this is signed by Jerry Flynn, Executive Director. We are appalled at the latest anti-police rant by the Governor of the Commonwealth. His latest tirade regarding race relations is purely an attempt to give his candidacy for higher office some kind of legitimacy off the backs of hard-working, dedicated police officers. Governor Deval Patrick has consistently and constantly taken to the press when it fits his own political agenda. His anti-police rhetoric is well known in his most recent race rant, in which he says he is, quote, sick of unarmed citizens being shot by police, quote, unquote, is disingenuous at best and factually inaccurate. In fact, Governor, since you have been the governor of Massachusetts, can you give us an example of any police officer within the Commonwealth of Massachusetts who has been charged with shooting a, quote, unarmed black man? Or, for that matter, any person without legal justification under the law? In this state where lawlessness is not condoned nor is it accepted, you have attempted to paint all police officers with the same broad brush before the facts are even known with respect to the fatal shooting in Ferguson, Missouri. You have haphazardly used race against a profession which is forced to make split decisions to save the lives of the general public as well as their own. Your bogus comments, Governor, are reminiscent of
we cars mad.
exhibited by President Obama when he called the actions of a Cambridge police sergeant acting stupidly
4 years or 5 years ago,
officer arresting a
2009.
Those of us in law enforcement all remember how that turned out, and we are not interested in another keg party or beer blast. As you are well aware, Governor, just last year, police officers in your adopted state of Massachusetts protected the general public and saved lives as Muslim terrorists attacked innocent civilians and paralyzed the city of Boston. Together, black, white, Asian, and Hispanic police officers assisted everyone they could, regardless of race, creed, or color.
Or sexual orientation, one half
precursor to the violent attacks against police officers by these same terrorists who confronted police officers with bombs on the streets of Watertown, Mass.
Oh, marathon.
Good stuff. Good stuff from Jerry Flynn, Executive Director, New England Police Benevolent Association. Let's see if he mentioned anything about how they didn't Did he mention anything about how the governor, oh, here's a little bit more. So, Governor, were you also sick that day as police officers risked their own lives to protect you and the public at large? Your bombastic and infuriating comments have no place in today's society, and neither does the hateful race relations from the likes of Reverend Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Yet, as President of the United States of America and the Governor of Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you have both decided to wrap yourselves around the shroud of controversy from which these two race rats, never heard him call that, but it's a good one. Race rats produce a good living in a vile attempt to further divide this country, thus putting dedicated, hard-working police officers at risk. Hear, 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 hear. 1-877-469-4322. 1-8978 says, Howie, I'm a woman who was a victim of domestic abuse, abused by our president's domestic policy. Does that count? 781, does a U.S. woman who is abused get benefits automatically? We must protest the asylum clause for Guatemalan women. 1-877-469-4322 on Howie Carr.
I'll be right back.
Candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.